Hey, Aria.
Hi, I can hear you.
Great, thanks.
Recording in progress. All right, good morning, everybody. This is the Wednesday, May 10th, 2023 morning session of the Portland City Council. Keelan, good morning. Please call the roll.
Good morning. Ryan.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Maps.
Here.
Rubio.
Here.
Wheeler.
Here. We'll hear from legal counsel on the rules of order and decorum.
Good morning. Welcome to the Portland City Council. To testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance on the council agenda at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. Information on engaging with City Council can be found at the council clerk's webpage. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during City Council meetings. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your time is done. Disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If you cause a disruption, a warning will be given. Further disruption will result in ejection from the meeting. Anyone who fails to leave once ejected is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually. Your testimony today should address the matter being considered. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Disclose if you are a lobbyist, and if you are representing an organization, please identify it. For testifiers joining virtually, please unmute yourself once the council clerk calls your name. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. This morning, I had the pleasure of meeting two Portland locals who are United States Presidential Scholarship semifinalists, Darsh Mandera and Charlie Black. Darsh and Charlie, can you just raise your hands so I can further embarrass you here? I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Darsh and Charlie who've joined us here in Chambers. Charlie is accompanied by his parents, and Darsh is accompanied by his parents, grandfather, and earlier you also saw Jesuit High School principal Khalid Maxey. For those who are unfamiliar, the United States Presidential Scholarship is one of our nation's highest honors for high school seniors. Both of these students have an excellent academic record and demonstrate a curiosity, drive, and resilience that we here at the City of Portland are very proud to celebrate. We wish both of these students the very best as they move on to higher education this coming fall, and we look forward to hearing about their future accomplishments. We really appreciate your being here today with your families, and we applaud the hard work you've put in, and I was so inspired by your vision for your individual futures and what you can do not only for our community but for our society at large. Really appreciate you, and thanks to your parents as well. First up is communications. First item, 355. First individual, please, Keelan.
Request of Elizabeth Adams to address council regarding safety and livability concerns.
Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Oh, great.
And this is my husband, Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
Hello.
I'm not sure if you remember me. It was a little emotional the last time I was here, so I'm a little in better spirits.
Good.
I'm actually here to thank you all for your help with the property. We've made small progress. Progress has really helped rejuvenate us. I also wanted to bring to your attention Mike Massett from BDS, the Senior Building Inspector, who has checked in with us regularly and supported us with the ongoing trespassers, vandalism, and crime at this location. Mr. Massett, who also led the hearing at the City of Portland versus Aaron Mitchell for the property, who's the property owner, and his testimony was outstanding in the detail, had great detail. The demolition is possibly happening this week at the earliest, so we'll see if that happens. There's a couple more things that have to happen for that, but we'll cross our fingers. Also, Stephanie Howard has been checking in with me weekly, and she has been a great support for me and has actually restored myself and our neighbors some hope for our city. I'd like to make the request that we can somehow hold the property owners accountable and make it a quicker and easier process for our community. No one should have to endure the 3 years of trauma that we have had to go through. The city is often blamed for these vacant properties when it's ultimately the owner's responsibility. My husband and I are willing to help in any way to make this process more seamless since we've been through it and know what it's like. What can we do to expedite this process? I have one more thing after that. I don't know if you want to address that now or at the end.
Sure, go ahead.
In addition, having this high-risk business under the umbrella of OLCC, which is Lamoda, owned by Aaron Mitchell, in our residential neighborhood is also a hotbed for crime and violent crime, considering armed robberies to this cash-based business, and there have been robberies with this specific business and the lack of concern for its employees. The owners of this business have already shown negligence for the unsafe working conditions of their employees and have lawsuits pending accordingly. Is there any way for us to stop Rosa Cazares and Aaron Mitchell specifically, not specific to the property and what's allowed there, but these specific owners in regards to the problems with this property and the trauma they have caused us in our neighborhood and the surrounding neighbors? We have felt victimized by them and don't feel it's safe for any of us to have to neighbor with them.
Thank you. And by the way, perfect timing. Jacob, I assume you're here in a supporting role.
100%.
Good man.
Yes.
You're a smart man as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. We really appreciate you both being here. Commissioner Mapps has a comment?
Sure, I just wanted to thank you for coming back and giving us a progress report. I also want to thank you for your perseverance and frankly, thank you for holding council accountable. I also want to thank my colleagues. It sounds like the mayor's office and Commissioner Rubio has really stepped up into this space to help resolve this situation. So I'm very much indebted to you. If there's anything that my portfolio can do to help in this space, please let us know. I appreciate especially the calls for figuring out better ways of holding property owners accountable for the issues that happen on their land is quite important. I used to work out in Park Rose, and a couple of years ago we would have terrible problems with, for example, drug houses, and the work that we had to do to get these closed down was like moving a mountain. And I see that, frankly, we haven't come up with a lot of systematic reforms in that space. I think that's one of the things we need to figure out in order to help Portland heal, and I'm very dedicated to sorting out that issue and would be happy to work with my colleagues on council to make that happen. Other than that, thank you for being here. I'm glad things are heading in the right direction, and I'm glad that you two are well.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Again, I want to thank you so much for testifying, bringing this to our attention, advocating for your neighborhood, your community, as Commissioner Mapps alluded to, holding us accountable, holding the city accountable. Also want to thank my colleagues for addressing the issue, including Commissioner Rubio and the mayor and their teams. You know, there's other parts of the story that are difficult to stomach, but I think the city is increasingly holding these folks accountable, so including their various relationships with the city. So
Yeah.
leave it at that, but I appreciate you
Absolutely.
testifying and coming back. We'd love to hear progress, and we just got to keep working for East Portland. Thanks so much.
Also, I just wanted to say, we tried really hard to bolster up our city, and I don't know if that's been evident in our news coverage, but there's been a lot of negative. So I want you to know that we appreciate you and have tried really hard to be compassionate for our city, so,
Love is going to change the city, not hate.
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you both, and I will pass your kind words on to Stephanie. She's not
Thank
here
you.
this morning. She's out doing the good work, but I'll let her know that you said nice things about her, and I know she'll appreciate that
Thank you.
personally, and I'll continue to listen to her guidance on this issue.
All right.
Thank you both.
You'll see me again.
All right, good. Yeah, well, please do keep us posted on this.
Yes, thank you.
It's fluid, and personally, I'd like to know what's going on too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next individual, please. Item 356.
Request of Justin Adams to address council regarding quality of life. They canceled their request.
357, please.
Request of Meg Bender-Stefanski to address council regarding wage advocacy for direct service workers at community-based organizations.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, all of you. My name is Meg Bender-Stefanski, and I work at Impact Northwest as a housing case manager. I love what I do. I love the individuals I work with, my coworkers and participants, and I'm so grateful to do such meaningful work and participate in my community in this way. I'm here today to speak on why increasing wages of social service workers is necessary and important. In the program I work in, eligibility for participants is based on area median income. We serve folks who are up to 80% AMI, which for a household of one person is $59,680. As of February 1st of this year, I now make $44,544. This means that participants that we work with, some of them, earn more than I do. As a caseworker, I also regularly do housing searches for my clients. Oftentimes, the housing I see available isn't even accessible to me cost-wise. One apartment I found was listed as low income, and it was $1,615. During another search recently, there was a 360 square foot studio without a kitchen for $1,100. According to the 2022 Out of Reach report by the National Low Income Housing Coalition, to afford the average two-bedroom home in the Portland metro region requires an hourly wage of $33.37, which translates to $69,400 annually. I can almost guarantee you today that in our region, no direct service workers are being paid that. Increased wages would allow me and my coworkers not to just survive, but to thrive. We all often carry this mentality in relation to the folks we work with and serve, but we also deserve to be treated and thought of in this way. I, like so many of us thus far, want to ask you to commit to policy actions this year that will allow us to thrive. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, and also I'm aware that you guys have allocated some funding towards increased wages for the joint office, but again, just wanted to bring this to your attention.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez, did you have your hand up? Let me just, first of all, applaud you for being here, and you're absolutely right. And this is an issue we're not only taking seriously here. The county chair mentioned yesterday in her remarks that this is an important priority for her, given that the county has a lot of service provider contracts, and we are seeing that the people who are delivering services to the most vulnerable people in our community are in fact vulnerable themselves. And so it is increasingly problematic. And it's just sort of an interesting aside, I was recently in Washington, D.C., talking to our congressional delegation and some members of the administration. And I noted that some careers get a lot of benefits, including housing, educational support, loan forgiveness, health care access. And I think about the benefits provided to people who choose to go into military service, and I applaud them, and they're absolutely deserving of everything they receive. But I also wonder, on the home front, as our nation struggles with behavioral health issues, struggles with substance use disorders, struggles with access to basic health care, why we can't also hold social work and the provision of services to vulnerable communities in that same level of esteem. And I feel that as I look at the decisions young people are making about their careers, it's very hard for somebody to rationally say, I want to pursue a career where I will be poor and unable to afford housing or unable to put a roof over my family's head or be able to afford a retirement. It almost requires a saintly attitude. And that shouldn't be the case. We should be encouraging a pipeline of young people like you who want to work to uplift and support our community. So it's on my mind. You touched a nerve. I'm really appreciative of what you do, and I hear the call to action, and I want to thank you for it.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
In person. Commissioner Mapps, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Meg for her testimony today and the work that she does. And Mr. Mayor, I also just want to thank you. I believe yesterday we had a work session where you unveiled your proposed budget, and we had some exchanges around houselessness. And I think one of the things that did come out is the mayor and his proposed did put in some funds for CBOs. So I'm glad to see that in the budget, and I appreciate the mayor really leaning into this important topic. Thank you.
It's a start. Yeah, thank you. 358, please. Next individual.
Request of Molly Hogan to address council regarding wage advocacy for community-based organizations.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. I'm basically just going to reinforce Meg
Good.
on a broader scale.
Okay, thanks.
So good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Molly Hogan, and I'm the director of the Welcome Home Coalition. Over 80 organizations united with the common vision that everyone in our region has access to a safe, stable, and affordable home. And to make that a reality, we need a thriving workforce of community-based social service employees. This issue is not new. For years, nonprofit leaders, service providers, frontline staff, and other advocates have been raising the alarm bells that government-funded social service contracts with community-based organizations must include increased amounts to allow for staff pay and benefits increases to authentically keep pace with the cost of living increases in our city. As of this morning, over 330 Portland area residents have sent your offices letters demanding that you ensure that community-based organizations contracting with you in fiscal year 24 can pay their workers living wages. A recent report showed that someone needs to make $60,000 a year to rent the average one bedroom in our area without being rent burdened. The city contracts with community organizations to do the work that you cannot accomplish alone as a government agency. Community-based organizations are essential in addressing our housing and health crisis more equitably with a trauma-informed and human-centered programming. These essential workers from culturally specific and responsive nonprofits are mission-driven and often meet people where they're at and can build trust with more efficacy than a government agency can. Further, ensuring living wages within community-based organizations is a matter of racial equity. We cannot ignore how low wages in social service positions disproportionately impacts communities of color, women, and folks with lived experience that choose to do this work, as you touched on, choosing to do the work out of their desire to give back. When frontline workers are stressed about their own finances, it has a rippling impact throughout the system. These workers are experiencing vicarious trauma of those they serve every day and might be one life emergency or paycheck from needing services themselves. So I saw that the mayor's proposed budget includes mention of a one-time funding allocation just over $1 million for the Joint Office of Homeless Services to increase provider wages. We're grateful to see that called out and funded, and yet acknowledge that it's not a sufficient amount to truly uplift all community-based workers. So I ask that you show your commitment by working with the county, collaborating to create a healthy, thriving social safety net workforce in our region to ensure that the fiscal year 24 budget reflects the ability to increase and uplift staff wages and benefits with our community-based organizations. We need to stop relying on individuals' kindness and create kinder systems. Thank you so much for your service and your time.
Really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Rubio.
Thanks. I just want to say to Molly and Meg, I just really appreciate your comments and having worked, in direct service for so many years. I just want to. It's so great to see that you're here and that you're advocating for these, living wages. People don't understand the toll that it takes on staff and the incredible burnout and turnover, which is in turn incredibly expensive for organizations to constantly recruit and train, and then people burn out in turn. So we're creating our own, sort of trauma in that experience as well. So just keep going. Very, very glad to see you here, and I'm a supporter.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Next individual, please. Item 359.
Request of Andrew Poorman to address council regarding Department of Revenue and jurisdiction to tax and fine.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me. First of all, I just got off work, so I apologize for not having time to change. Here's an Oregonian, not as a representative of my employer.
Sure.
My name is Andy Poorman. I'm a resident of unincorporated Washington County. I'm sorry, I should stop. Did you guys receive the letters that I submitted?
Yes, this went to the
Thank
clerk.
you. I've never lived in Multnomah County, nor have I had any business dealings in Multnomah County or the city of Portland. I do own rental properties in Clark County, Washington, and in Clackamas County here in Oregon. I filed business tax returns with the IRS and have paid all local and state taxes that are due. The first document you guys have there, the notice of possible business I received. It's dated February 24th of this year. It details fines and assumed back taxes if I do not comply to the Portland Department of Revenue within 45 days. Again, I live outside the jurisdiction. I have no business dealings within Portland. And if I do not do anything, I will be fined and charged assumed taxes for no crime that I committed. I asked the Department of Revenue for their justification, as I don't live within their jurisdiction, and they sent me the second letter, which said they had evidence of me having business dealings within their jurisdiction. When I asked them what this evidence was, they would not provide it for me, as they don't have any. My understanding of how it works is that the IRS provides the city of Portland with a list of people who have Portland on their street address, which I do in unincorporated Washington County, who filed a business tax return with the IRS, but did not file or pay any taxes to the city of Portland and Multnomah County. The Revenue Division then takes this information and goes after these people and for whatever attempt to try and collect taxes from them. My concern with this is that they start assessing fines on people before they have any evidence. Additionally, as a 21-year veteran of the military, I was on deployments for far greater than 45 days. If this had happened while I was deployed, I would have come home to a large fine and back taxes sent to personal collections, which are not easy to turn off. I'm requesting the Portland Department of Revenue cease the threats of fines and change their policy on people that they do not have jurisdiction on. Thank you. I'll open up to questions.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a new one for me, I'll admit, and I appreciate you coming in here and documenting this. Bobby, is this something we could follow up with Revenue? Because it feels to me like maybe there's a disconnect in the system somewhere, and I apologize.
Thank you.
Based on the information you've provided
Yes, sir.
today,
Your name is on the letterhead.
It
so
sounds like
that's
you've been
why.
wronged. So let's see if we can take care of it and fix it, not only for you, but let's see, Bobby, if we have a systemic issue here with the revenue collection program. Sorry.
Are there any questions?
Well, I don't know enough about this, and I mean, literally, this is the first time I've ever heard this one. And so I'll follow up and we'll see what we can do. Commissioner Ryan?
Yeah, just additional context. The reason why our Department of Revenue is collecting, it's collecting for the county and for Metro, correct?
That could
That's
be.
why we get involved.
That
is
could be,
because,
yeah.
in the mayor's office, the Department of Revenue, like, aren't we the agent to collect the money,
Yeah,
right?
you
For
know what,
Metro
Dan,
and
you're
for the
right.
county.
That's what's
So
going on.
that's what this is connected to.
All right,
This
well,
is
let's
not
see if we can sort it.
regarding the homeless, the Metro tax for homeless. This is not regarding that. This
Oh.
is business taxes.
Oh, business, I'm sorry, I
They-
misspoke. I just
they
know that we're
said
taking
that-
on more responsibility in the Department of Revenue, so I was like, seeing. if
No,
it was like
they are saying that they had evidence that I was conducting business in Portland, and their only evidence is that I live proximate to their boundaries. That's their, and so anybody with a Portland address that files a business return, they're subject to these audits.
Okay. Let's see if we can sort, so that's my chief of staff right there, Bobby Lee, nice guy. If you could leave your contact information, and we'll see if we can sort this for you. It sounds like it's some sort of a misunderstanding.
Okay, my meetings with the Department of Revenue is no misunderstanding. They do this all the time, and their response to me was that I would be surprised how many people owe taxes and haven't paid them. And that's their justification.
Okay, well, I'm hearing you.
Thank you.
And this is the first I've heard of it, so I'm committing to you, I'll sort it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for being here. Appreciate it. And that completes communications. Have any items been pulled off the consent agenda?
Nothing's been
Please
pulled.
call the roll.
Ryan.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. Consent agenda is adopted. First time certain item number 360, please. It's a resolution.
Authorize the submittal of enterprise zone application to the state of Oregon to reauthorize the East Portland Enterprise Zone.
Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to introduce this next item, which will adopt a resolution for Prosper Portland to submit an enterprise zone application, also called E-zones, to the state of Oregon to reauthorize the East Portland Enterprise Zone for the next 10 years. If approved, this application will endeavor to retain the current East Portland E-zone program and existing map. It will enable Prosper Portland to continue to manage an economic development program that since 1996 has encouraged commercial investment, created and retained quality jobs, and created a resource stream to Prosper Portland to invest in critical community economic development objectives across the city. I'd also like to emphasize that the program currently has 45 active E-zone companies, including 18 in the East Portland E-zone. 33% of these are small businesses. And since 2015, companies in both the Portland and East Portland E-zones have invested in capital or procured goods and services totaling 1.8 million plus in the city of Portland. Or is that billion? Billion, excuse me. Created 3,600 new jobs in 2021. Paid $30.16 per average in wages, and provided $8 million for local nonprofits, businesses, and workers through Prosper Portland programs. This program locally and nationally is recognized as an innovative tax incentive tool that not only helps businesses to grow, but also does so in an inclusive way. So today we have Shay Flaherty-Bettine, Prosper Portland's Economic Development Director, and Andy Reed, Project Manager, to introduce this item and share more about the impacts on our community. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. Good afternoon, Mayor Wheeler and Portland Commissioners. For the record, my name is Shay Flaherty-Bettine. I use pronouns like he, him, and el, and I am the Director of Economic Development at Prosper Portland. I'm here with Andy Reed, who has actually managed the Enterprise Zone program on behalf of the City of Portland and Prosper Portland for longer than a decade now, since 2010. And so before I jump in, I want to acknowledge not just his work, but the work of our business advancement team, which is the team within Prosper Portland that assists growing businesses so they can invest back into Portland with living wage jobs. If we go to the next slide, please. So today we're going to cover briefly just some background on the program, including the policy and practices, as well as who's benefiting from the program today. I'm then going to pass it to Andy so he can touch on program impacts, as well as the reason we're all here today, which is hopefully to extend the availability of this resource moving forward. We're going to try to go quickly so we can save time for questions. Go to the next slide. So just at its core, briefly, E-Zone is a 5-year property tax abatement program. And most importantly, it is the only incentive tool that our business advancement team actually manages in-house. So as you can imagine, it plays an immense role in our business retention and expansion efforts. In order to qualify, the firm must be making new investment in construction or equipment to property within the E-Zone boundary, and you must be creating new or additional jobs. And once a company enters the program, it will receive that full tax abatement on all qualified property for up to 5 years, but that's only if and only if they are accountable and complying with the annual program requirements. For example, and this is one that helped me wrap my head around it, the tax liability on a new capital investment is around 1.5% of the value of that investment. So if a company is investing $20 million, it would typically produce a new tax liability of around $300,000 a year. So once that 5-year period is over, roughly, at $300,000 a year, 1.5 million of the taxes have been forgiven. After that, the improvements, along with the rest of the property, are now fully taxed, and the entire asset re-enters the tax roll at a higher amount. Hence, this short-term waiver of local taxes usually results in an immense long-term return to our local taxing jurisdictions. If we go to the next slide. I want to point out that this is a statewide program. It's under state statute, and that the abatement is available by right to companies that comply with the program requirements. There's currently more than 70 different E-zones across the state, and I'd say most medium to large cities actually have one. But I'd say here in Portland, we're actually probably the most aggressive and successful at extracting community benefits from enterprise zones, and you'll hear more from Andy on that in just a second. Lastly, E-zone designations have to be made every 10 years. Prosper Portland's Board of Directors and the Port of Portland have already approved this reauthorization, and City Council's approval today would be the last step in our process. We go to the next slide. So just a bit of the history. In 2012, we established the East Portland Enterprise Zone, which is the enterprise zone in question today, and we'll show you a map in a second. That's the zone that's here for potential reauthorization. Most recently, we've adjusted and deployed this program to help deliver on several strategic equity priorities. For example, in 2017, we added the country's first public benefit agreement requirement within the enterprise zone. And since then, 19 different companies have agreed to a variety of public benefits. So we believe that's a good reason to proceed with this program. And if you'll see on the next slide, the E-Zone program is actually a critical component to the number of objectives in our Advanced Portland strategy. So just noting how that actually aligns, at our objective 1, which is to propel inclusive growth and innovation, we're specifically, again, as a reminder, talking about cluster industries in which our city has a competitive advantage, where we're seizing opportunities to expand green products and address barriers to growth. E-Zone only works with businesses that are growing jobs in the city and bringing money from outside the region. So many of these companies are engaging in innovative business practices that create new products that are then distributed throughout the world. And again, this is the only financial tool that this team has. So I think it's crucial for us when it comes to business retention, expansion, but also attraction. In the second objective, which is around equitable wealth creation, I think the connection here is around supporting diverse entrepreneurs to grow and scale their businesses. And you'll see in the past few years, the E-Zone program has actually been able to critically support some of our entrepreneurship efforts, and there's been an increasing participation from some smaller businesses who you might recognize. And objective 4, I think it goes without saying that given the connection to high quality jobs, there's significant alignment with the Advanced Portland strategy there. Next slide, so we can actually look at the map of what we're talking about. So City Council already reauthorized the Portland Enterprise Zone, which you see in brown on the map. That happened in 2019, and it includes sections of downtown and the Pearl, in addition to the commercially zoned portions of Northeast and North Portland, where you have some of our industrial corridors. Our other one is the outer East Portland, which you'll see is in blue. I'll just note that we treat both of these enterprise zones with the same policies, so businesses in both are treated equally. We go to the next slide. So over the past 10 years, we've supported 97 projects. 45 of those are currently active. And the map currently highlights the E-Zone investments that are within the industrial and commercial locations throughout the city. It's steadily picked up, especially investments in East Portland have steadily picked up since its creation in 2012. Some of those have included manufacturers of products such as granola bars, foam mattresses, and pharmaceuticals to support those that have diabetes. If we go to the next slide. So again, 45 currently active projects. You'll see that we've had an uptick in number of projects that are accessed and available to small businesses. And that's really been a credit to Andy's work in simplifying access to the program and increasing a focus on customer service. So enrollments now include a significant number of small businesses, which we are currently for this program defining as those that have 50 employees or less. And nearly 1/3 of the businesses currently benefiting from the abatement are what we consider small businesses. If we go to the next slide. And so drilling down further, these are the companies that currently have active exemptions. And if specifically to today's authorization, we're speaking to the companies that are noted in bold, as those are the ones that are within the East Portland Enterprise Zone. We're also proactively seeking enrollments from businesses with owners of color. You'll notice that both Nosa Familia and City of Roses Recycling are examples of diverse companies that are taking advantage of this resource. And so with that, I believe I'm passing it to you, Andy, so we can speak to the results of the program, overall impact, and the return on investment to the city. And hopefully after that, we can jump into some questions.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, for having us today. My name is Andy Reed. I use he, him pronouns. Let's jump into some numbers here. If you could go to the next slide. So over the last few years, from 2015 to 2022, the Portland E-Zone has catalyzed more than $1.8 billion in investment. And this is really broken down into two areas. One is about $974 million in capital investment. This is going to be everything from buildings, machinery, equipment, things like that, as well as local procurement. The $940 million is within the City of Portland limits. So these companies spend elsewhere as well, but this is a direct impact from these companies here in our jurisdiction. These expansions include Daimler Trucks North America, Vigor Industrial, their dry docks, Salt and Straw, Olympia Provisions, Instrument Marketing, PAE here in downtown Portland, and others. And starting in 2017, as you heard from Shay, we began to deploy a public benefit agreement model, which has specific efforts to procure from entrepreneurs of color, utilizing both our Inclusive Business Resource Network and the Mercatus Collective that we also run through Prosper Portland. These are vehicles to support small businesses and create connections. This is moving into some new areas around supplier diversity, where we have companies, 10 of the largest in the city, that are coming together to design supplier diversity systems alongside these nonprofits that are serving our small business community. If we could go to the next slide, please. Some more numbers here, looking at total compensation and benefits. coming on the heels of the previous presentation about wages. We'll just note that the wages are solidly steady in the $30 range. When you take into account the total compensation, this is the added value of vacation, stock options, things like that, we push that number up to total compensation about $36 an hour, and it stayed, again, pretty steady compared to the Oregon minimum wage requirements that we have here in the state. Next slide, please. So in terms of the value of the public benefit agreement, I want to speak how this translates to the benefits in the community. One way that this happens is that companies pay 15% of their tax savings into a workforce training business development fund, and this supports programs such as the IBRN Inclusive Business Resource Network and the Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership. I believe we'll be hearing from them a little bit later today. Our projects where companies will be saving more than $1 million in taxes, and a few years ago we added a 5% addition where they are required to use that extra 5% to offset the cost for employees in transportation or childcare needs. And so we've had some shifts in policies and practices inside these larger companies that, again, just aligned with what the employees need. Starting this year, E-Zone companies are offering equity training to employees. They're participating in our umbrella program that covers a lot of our inclusive economic development work in our team called Portland Means Progress. They participate in internships and programs with Black, Indigenous, people of color youth through Emerging Leaders, and many have joined, like I mentioned before, our Supplier Diversity Roundtable as part of the Portland Means Progress brand. Lastly, companies must do yearly compliance. They must complete Department of Revenue and local agreement compliance forms. We assess qualitative and quantitative data. We take compliance very seriously, and when a company is not meeting their obligations, there is a 100% clawback of tax savings in the program that is organized through Multnomah County Department of Revenue and Prosper Portland. Next up, please. So getting to some numbers again, the value proposition of what does this bring to the city? In addition to the cultural change benefits, public benefit agreement conversation, there are significant financial impacts to note. In exchange for $1.5 million in foregone tax revenue in the last tax cycle, we can take about a one-year snapshot and notice 3,600 new jobs, which also kicked off approximately $11.5 million in Oregon income tax revenue. This also includes, of that larger number of procurement you saw previously, about $137 million procured within the city of Portland. Over the last year, over the years, we've done the analysis, and we believe that the financial payback to local jurisdictions is about 5 years after the incentive expires. So if you have a building that has a 39-year depreciation, they receive 5 years of abatement, but then the rest is taxed over that time period there. Next slide, please. So why are we here today? We have a few things that we're trying to do. One is we want to keep this public benefit agreement tool going. We also want to increase the ability for companies to retain, stay, and grow in Portland. To do that, we have to meet a few state-level requirements. You'll see 3 of them that look at the income and distance square miles pieces from the state level against state statute requirements. Those include poverty standards, 12 square mile point-to-point distance requirements that we have to pay attention to, have to be located in or near low-income areas. And then finally, this has to be authorized by the Portland City Council and Port of Portland Commission. Again, the commission process has already been completed with the Port of Portland. So today's actions are really to reauthorize this agreement for another 10 years. If you could go to the next slide, please. And we intend to stick with the same map at this point for East Portland. We believe it's comprehensive enough and it covers a lot of the industrial and commercial zoned areas that we think have opportunities to grow. And so again, this would be for another 10 years, request at the state of Oregon for an extension of this current enterprise zone. One thing that I would note, connecting back to Advance Portland one more time, in actions to revitalize the central city, we are exploring how we might be able to expand the enterprise zone program into the downtown core. As you can see, the Central East Side and Old Town is already in, Southwest Waterfront as well. But if that is of interest, we can pursue that. It looks like we have, within the statutory limits of square miles, the ability to potentially bring that in as another area to benefit from the program. think that's what we have for now. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. Mayor, now we have 2 invited testimony
Very good.
speakers. I'd like to call Michelle Fisak from Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership and Jackie Park from A&K Designs to share with us their experiences.
They're not on the call. They might not have the link.
I see Jackie.
Michelle's there too.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I just got the little notice to join as a panelist. So would you like me to proceed?
Yes, please, Michelle.
Well, good morning, Mayor Wheeler and Portland City Council. For the record, my name is Michelle Fusak, and I'm the Vice President of Finance and Operations at the Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership, known as OMEP. OMEP is part of the National MEP Network, a unique public-private program offered across the United States that delivers solutions to enable manufacturers to be more efficient and grow. We are the MEP Center for the state of Oregon, and each state has their own MEP Center. OMEP focuses on small to medium-sized organ manufacturers, and we have 16 manufacturing consultants on staff who have specific expertise to help with varying sectors and issues. Prosper Portland and OMEP are committed to helping Portland manufacturers achieve and maintain the highest attainment level of competitiveness. Since 2004, Prosper Portland has collaborated with OMEP to provide lean, efficiency improvement delivery services on over 100 projects with more than 75 Portland manufacturers. And a number of these were funded with E-Zone funding. With help from OMEP, Portland area manufacturers we've worked with have increased efficiencies by as much as 60%. These improvements have enabled manufacturers to retain and increase sales, benefit from cost savings resulting from waste elimination, increase investments in facilities, equipment, and information systems, and retain and create new jobs. Assisting manufacturing firms to be as competitive as possible in a global marketplace will help retain Portland businesses. The recent Advanced Portland Strategy data confirms that Portland still has a concentration of metals and transportation manufacturing firms serving various industries such as aerospace, shipbuilding, automotive, and clean energy. These businesses employ over 33,000 in Portland Metro, with salaries averaging $75,000 with relatively low barriers to entry. With funding from the E-Zone, OMEP has been able to run cohort programs such as the Business Innovation Workshop and Tools for Conscious Leadership, allowing us to work with multiple businesses at the same time experiencing similar challenges. Key outcomes from these cohorts include understanding how to empower people to solve problems, utilizing financials to support sound business decision-making, applying operational excellence initiatives, harnessing the power of marketing to support top-line growth. I can't say enough about the great work that Prosper Portland does and the impacts our organizations have achieved together in the manufacturing sector in Portland. I strongly encourage you to support the E-Zone program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jackie Park.
Hi, my name is Jackie Park. I am the controller of A&K Designs. Our company is a sports apparel manufacturer. We have been in the East Portland area for 34 years, 30 years in Southeast and 4 years in Northwest. In 2019, we moved to our current location in the Northeast Alderwood Road. It is about now 5 minutes from the PDX International Airport. When we moved, we almost doubled the size of the facility because we want to be ready for upcoming business opportunities. And it was really right and timely decision, but the cost was quite significant. And luckily, we were introduced to the E-Zone, the Enterprise Zone program, thanks to Prosper Portland. So for a few years now, we have benefited from the E-Zone program. Big thing is receiving property tax incentive through this program. We were able to offset some costs for move, and that way we were able to reinvest to the in the new equipment too. And actually, we were able to do some value-added product through that equipment too. When we started the agent program, we have a little more than 100, like 103. And now we have, as of now, we have 129 employees, and we are planning to hire at least 10 more employees this year. We consider ourselves a high-quality employer, and we treat our employees in the community very well. We provide the full benefits and bonuses based on the company's performance, and we have been using KPI-based evaluation program. So in addition to the property tax incentive, we also enjoyed a lot of benefits from the program. One of them is Portland Mint Progress Equity Training Series. I joined most of the training with our HR manager, and we learned a lot and changed a lot. Also, our young employees from procurement, accounting, and administration, they participated several hours free consultation through them for intentional purchasing, local purchasing, in other words. And we were able to take a fresh look at our procurement activities. Being part of the agent program gives us a stronger connection to the city. And I believe this kind of program makes sense both the city and us. And so therefore, I strongly encourage and recommend you to support the Enterprise Zone program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle and Jackie, for your comments. I think this concludes our
Very good. Colleagues, do you have any questions at this point? Keelan, do we have public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. Commissioner Ryan, did you have a comment?
No, not a comment. I'm always curious, as you know. So could you go back to the wage slide?
Yeah.
I'm just curious about what I thought I saw when it quickly went by. Is that possible? It looked like the wages were higher a few years ago as opposed to today. So I just, because you're supposed to be curious in these jobs, I'm just curious how it went down.
No, it's a great question, Commissioner. Thank you. And I'd say we have a number of companies involved who might be subjected to current market forces. So as we know, there was a significant event in 2020 that impacted how companies responded. And it is it's average total compensation. So there is fluctuation year to year. I don't know if you want to speak to it more, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Ryan. The other, anecdotally, we've had a number of tech companies that have exited the program in 2018, 2019. And so there may be a dip because of kind of that higher wage in the tech space. Correct.
A couple of them went away and they factored into this and they weighted quite heavily, it looks like.
That's correct.
Because it was kind of a dip, so I'm glad that you acknowledged why I would ask such a question. And then the other part, I didn't catch how long they had been in the program, the two people who testified, Michelle and Jackie. And this is my next curiosity is, after the 5 years of abatement takes place, what are we measuring on how they do the next 5 years? So when they don't have the tax abatement any longer, are they still adding employees and adding additional wages? And are we monitoring that?
At this point, no, we do not have a tool to monitor post-exemption. We move on. We thank them for their time. What we've heard anecdotally, though, is a number of these companies, because they've changed, as Jackie was just explaining, policies, practices, and procedures, and they stay engaged in our other efforts like Portland Means Progress. So we do have a relationship that grows with these organizations over time, but no, we do not track post-exemption.
Okay.
That's right. If they are going to continue participating in any number of the other business advancements teams projects, then we have the opportunity to capture their outcomes through that ongoing relationship. But if they're primarily engaging with us just through the abatement program, so there we lose kind of the intentional touch point. So it depends on if they continue to engage.
I don't know what it'd be like to do that. I do know that to really measure impact, it's about the long term. So I hope we consider figuring out a mechanism to see where they're at 5 years later. Then we really look at what our additive impact was for the longer term.
Yeah. That's a great point. We could explore that. I also think another way that we've looked at it in the past is we can see some of the cumulative impact through the return into the tax rolls. So we can see if they're continuing to grow, and we can kind of, it's a little bit hard to disaggregate that data, but overall, I think we see the impact when we look at the taxing jurisdictions and the increase after those assets re-enter.
Yeah. So you'll agree, it's a big change in terms of how we were interacting with the enterprise, and then we stop. Right. And so it's, of course, we want to see the longer term impact. So thanks for doing this dialogue, and I hope to hear that there's a way we can get at that, so we can really measure the value of this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mapps?
Sure. I was going to let it go, but I want to appreciate Commissioner Ryan for asking the wage question. That did strike me as I was going through and looking at this data. I'll just point out the thing that really strikes me with the wage data is that wages are actually relatively flat. It's the benefits that are actually bouncing around pretty dramatically. I mean, from like our peak in 2017, wages, change essentially less than $1, but you can see benefits look like they maybe even fall by half, which is an interesting economic trend. I don't know if that's an observation. If you guys have anything to say about that or any insights to that, I don't know if that tells us something about the market broadly or just tells us about who's participating in the program. And if you don't have any insights into this, that's fine too.
I think Andy's earlier comment about the number of tech firms that have exited the program, I would take into account just knowing the average benefits that the average tech worker receives. That's significant compared to a lot of our other sectors and industries. I think that's a plausible reason. I don't know if there's other.
I would note that in the process of working with companies to document with a clean methodology of how they're paying and compensating their employees, a number of them this is a new thing for them to even think about. So in a sense, we are pushing them to identify what is the value to their employee as part of this process. So thank you for the question, Commissioner Mapps. It's a really good kind of like, how do we know that compensation is good? Not just that the wages are okay, but the compensation. So we're constantly iterating with companies on this. So it's just a different kind of comment to your question.
Sure, great, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Ryan?
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, for bringing this forward and for the good work that Shay and Andy are doing. That was a great presentation. I appreciate the dialogue. I look forward to hearing, if the two people that testified, would come back and say, 3 years after it, we're still experiencing this. I think that's my point that I was trying to deliver. But I really acknowledge that 3,600 new jobs is a big thing. And let's hope we can get some of those higher wage jobs up so we can see that trend in the right direction. Anyway, I support this. I vote aye.
Gonzalez?
I strongly support reauthorization of the East Portland Enterprise Zone. At the same time, I believe it is essential we move with urgency with respect to downtown, with respect to Central City. Like many U.S. cities, particularly on the West Coast, Portland's downtown is struggling in ways that was unfathomable some years ago. And only Old Town and parts of the Pearl are currently in the Portland E-Zone. We need to act with urgency to expand the benefits of E-Zone, to retain employers, to attract them, as well as to attract and retain investors that may be redlining parts of our city right now. We also need to really take a look at urban renewal for downtown. I'll have more to talk about when we talk about your budget this afternoon. I am a strong aye on this. Thank you.
Mapps?
I want to thank staff for this presentation and thank Commissioner Rubio for bringing this item forward. I did have some questions about this program as it was coming to council, and we had a chance to dialogue on that, and I appreciate the dialogue. In the context of Oregon, there has been some criticism of this program in terms of the kinds of jobs that it attracts to local communities. And I think Prosper has done a really good job of actually avoiding some of the pitfalls that other jurisdictions have encountered. So I want to congratulate you on that, and I appreciate the education I got on this one. I vote aye.
Rubio?
I want to thank Prosper, especially Shay and Andy, for all your excellent work on this. And I agree with my colleague. You've been stewarding this project excellently and holding our values front and center as a city, which is notable and important. I also want to thank all the community and government partners who gave us and Prosper feedback on this item, including Metro, Multnomah County, the County Tax Assessor's Office, MESD, Port of Portland, PCC, Portland Public Schools, TriMet, East Multnomah Soil and Water Conservation District, Northwest Regional Education Service District, David Douglas School District, and Reynolds School District. So this policy has been very inclusive, of all of those contributions, and I really just want to lift up and applaud your engagement of all stakeholders. So happy to see this program move forward for another 10 years. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Well, I wish you got more acclaim for the good work you do. But in this day and age, I'm sorry to say, probably the only time you're going to hear about the success of this program is here in this room. But this has been a terrific program. It's one of the few really powerful tools we have to both attract and retain businesses in our community and help them expand in our community. It has twin goals around both growing our community as well as sharing the prosperity. And as Commissioner Rubio indicated, that's front and center as far as our economic development values. And Commissioner, I applaud you for your continued work on this. I also like the fact that this is focused. This isn't a do everything for everybody all over the place all the time approach. This is focused narrowly. I like the fact that there's a particular emphasis on the growth industries in our Advance Portland plan. And I particularly personally, having put a lot of work and having my staff put a lot of work in the development of Portland Means Progress, I'm really appreciative of how this dovetails with that work and leverages the work of Portland Means Progress. So my hat's off to you. I appreciate the work, and I know you'll continue to do good work. And although you won't read about it, I want you to know I see it, and I appreciate it, and I know you're doing great work on behalf of the people of this city, so keep at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I vote aye, and the resolution is adopted. Next item, please. We're now into our second time certain 361, a proclamation.
Proclaim May 2023 to be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Colleagues, our next item is a proclamation naming May 2023 as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. To begin the presentation, I'd like to introduce Riza Liu, city employee, as well as an important Happy representative. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I didn't know you were modeled as well. This is great.
Hello.
You do it all.
Yeah, I'm going to stand up if that's okay with everyone.
Please.
Hi, my name is Riza Liu. Thank you, Mayor Wheeler and council, city employees, and everyone joining us here and online. My name is Riza Liu. I'm representing the HAPA Asian American Pacific Islander Group, also known as HAPI in the city, and we are in partnership and in solidarity with FACE, the Filipino American City Employee Resource Group. Even though we're here celebrating our heritage, I wanted to take time to spread awareness and to spread awareness that the acts of violence and hatred towards the API community continues to occur. We need to show each other support and kindness every day in our lives. We must continue to support each other. We acknowledge this unfortunate reality, but I want to take today to focus on our joy and beauty in our community. We are pleased to bring breaking and Samoan performances from the Portland metropolitan area API communities to celebrate our cultures that contribute so much to our region. May I have the breaking performers, New Birth crew, come up to the stage. Okay.
Yay.
And Kevin will say a few words.
Hi, y'all. I'm Kevin Lay, representing the New Birth crew. I'm here alongside Serge Vela and Andy Manavong. It's an honor for us to be able to come here and share this beautiful gift of breaking and hip hop with y'all. We participate in our scene and community, as well as competitively all over the world. Breaking will be introduced in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, so it's starting to gain a little more popularity, and we're really excited to show you the art form of how we do it in Portland. So we're very grateful to be here. As an Asian American myself, the son of two Vietnamese immigrants, it's just a huge honor to be able to share this and continue on this journey.
Thank you. And we do encourage sharing, during the performance. The sound, can we start the audio, please? How about that performance?
Amazing.
How about? Oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you, New Birth Crew. Okay, I have the honor of introducing the next performance, Talunuga by Kanisa Pe'ata. Talunuga is a traditional Samoan dance that is considered to be the climax to all Fia Fia. The word Talunuga stems from the last stage of construction for a traditional fale house in Samoa. When the topmost part of the Talunuga is placed and secured, it signifies that the fale is complete. The term in Samoan symbolizes the conclusion of the monumental task and the beautifying final touches. Our performer represents the dignity and honor of herself, her villages, her families, and ultimately the beautiful island of Samoa. Please join me in welcoming Kanisa Pe'ata. Is she here? She's almost here, guys. And, maybe a little few minutes to. Maybe I can also invite everyone after the performances. We do have food in the South Atrium provided by local caterers around the Portland area, and we.
Stalling.
Or keep stalling. We have White Elephant. We have White Elephant. It is a Lao street food cart in Northwest Portland, and we also have Filipino food from Ian's Tasty Pandesal. So I hope to see everyone after the event, and we can talk and have conversations and eat. There is. Oh, yeah, you want to read the proclamation? Yeah?
Why don't we
Mr.
do
Mayor?
that?
Okay.
Yeah, and why don't we start
Perfect.
with council comments, and we'll help you, as Commissioner Gonzalez just said, tap dance. And then if she's not here, then we'll go to the proclamation. So we'll sequence.
We can
this.
bounce around
Yeah,
stuff.
Commissioner
Okay.
Maps, why don't you go ahead?
Perfect. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, colleagues, first, Risa, I want to thank you for being our MC today. I want to thank the artists who performed for us. That was a truly great way to kick off this very important moment. And I have a couple of words I want to share with the people in this room. I am delighted to join this council in proclaiming May 2023 to be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Now, of course, during this month, we come together to recognize the history, achievements, and unmet needs of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. Now, people of Asian ancestry have been here in Oregon since the 1850s. Our Asian ancestors worked mines in Eastern Oregon. They built the railroads. They were farmers and fishermen. They built the Oregon that we inherited and love today. Now, despite the contributions Asian Americans have made to our community, our Asian American neighbors have endured a long history of discrimination. For example, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 banned Chinese immigration to the United States. And of course, during World War II, in our own city, Portlanders of Japanese descent were rounded up and imprisoned at the Portland Expo Center before being shipped off to internment camps. And even today, Asian American communities endure harassment and violence. While racism may have been part of this city's past, racism must not be part of our community's future. That's why today this council stands with Asian American and our Pacific Islander neighbors in condemning and working to end acts of violence against the Asian American community. And there are other challenges which we must overcome too. The American dream remains out of reach for far too many Asian American families. That's why I want to thank our community partners who support Portland's API community, especially folks like Apano and ERCO and the Asian Family Center, the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association, the Vietnamese Community of Oregon, the Japanese American Society, and the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for the work you do. You represent Portland at our best. Colleagues, for these reasons and more, I am proud to join you in declaring May 2023 to be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month here in Portland, Oregon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor, and I just want to thank you, Risa, for your wonderful energy that you're bringing into council today, and the New Birth crew. That was amazing. You brought the energy up in the room. We all needed that today, so thank you. We'll be writing on that for the rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing all the other performances. I also just want to acknowledge what you had said, that over the last few years have been exceptionally hard for the AAPI community with the attacks and everything going on. And this increase in violence is unacceptable in our city and everywhere, and not what we should stand for in our city at all. And that's why today is important. That's why community organizations are important, employee organizations like Hoppy, and artists, businesses, educators from the AAPI communities are such valuable contributors to the history and richness of the city. And our city owes you for the countless economic and social contributions. And so today is an important tribute to that. It's also a call to action and accountability for us to all walk our talk. So it's not just one day a year that we're talking about these things, but we're lifting up and supporting AAPI leadership. We're electing leaders to office. We are putting them in, appointing them and hiring them in leadership positions. We are growing youth into sectors that need more representation. And that we're supporting businesses and artists. So, and also that we're retaining our important AAPI workforce here at the city, because you are a reflection of who Portland is. So just thank you for your contributions, and I look forward to the rest of the program.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Just want to thank the performers, our many Asian American and employees in the city of Portland. I want to give a special call out to Nate Takara, native Hawaiian, for his contribution for years in Portland Fire, as well as in the Street Service Coordination Center. When we talk about the discrete communities that make up this larger population, they came here for opportunity, they came here to build businesses and families and communities. They are a net, very positive contributor to our community as a whole. So thank you for joining us and the broader community in Portland. Thank you for celebrating today with us. I'll leave it at that.
Very good. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for bringing this forward. I just want to thank you, Rui Salu, and your colleagues for, and from HAPI. Is it HAPI? H-A-P-I, right?
Happy.
HAPI, sorry. Mostly, I just want to get back to the performances. This feels like this unnecessary halftime of us giving these little proclamations while we were all really focused on the performances. So I'm glad we're winging it. Would you say we're tap dancing, right, Commissioner Gonzalez? Yep, we're tap. But really, your expressions of the joy that you mentioned were really obvious. So we can't wait to see the next performance to celebrate. And that's truly the word that I'm picking up on today, Asian Pacific Islander and Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage. I always like to reminisce about my own personal history. At the late 70s, a lot of refugees came to this city from Vietnam because we shared the waters, the Pacific, and Roosevelt and I think Marshall were the two high schools that were targeted to receive all the refugees, and I was a student at Roosevelt High School. So suddenly we had 300 refugees from Vietnam and Laos, and it was really a profound experience because suddenly we had this 1/3 of our school basically changed. And there was a lot that went on with that, just being a leader on student council, trying to include the new immigrants into our fabric of the student body. And I know one personal friend I met at that time was Mr. Lee Po Cha at ERCO, and he got active on student council. So it was never surprising to me to watch him rise now as a leader and an elder in your community. I also have had the benefit of my brother marrying well, and he married a Hawaiian and Filipino, and so that was 40 years ago. So our family's been blessed with having hulas before we have meals and such. And so I think like a lot of families, we're multicultural as we evolve, and how we have to continue to embrace that in our beloved community. Finally, I just want to make a couple comments about having the opportunity in this job to get to know more people from the Tongan community. After the devastation, the extreme weather to that island, it was an opportunity to dive in and get to know that community. It's a really vibrant community, and throughout Portland, especially, I know a lot of rugby matches are played out at Northgate Park. So you could see, I see that community like I never had before in the past. And also meeting with, especially in East Portland, small businesses, especially the smaller Chinese restaurants that have really, like all small businesses, have really struggled with the increases in crime and burglaries and vandalism to their businesses, and how we can see them and really be there for them in a culture that has a lot of pride and a lot of resilience, and having to break down some of the, I think, the barriers for them to also be a part of the restoration as we move forward as a beloved community. So I'm just really grateful that we take time today to celebrate the API community, and I look forward to the rest of the next performance. I think she's almost back. Yeah? Okay.
Riza, is Kenisa here yet? Yes. Okay, I'm going to defer my comments, and we'll hear from Kenisa.
Our performer
please.
is ready. Do
All
we
right.
want to do the performance, then
Yeah,
the
go for it.
proclamation?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Hello again, everyone. Join me in welcoming Kenisa Pe'ata and dancing a traditional taluga. Audio, please. turn up the audio, please? Thank you, Kanisa, for that beautiful performance. That wraps up our performance for today. I'd like to extend the invitation again to join us for a meal downstairs in the South Atrium. We have Grimes' Tribe, the local Hawaiian food vendor. White Elephant is a Lao street food. And Ian Pandesal, which is a Filipino restaurant. Thank you, and I'll hand it off back to Mayor Wheeler and Council.
Great, thank you. Kanitsa, thank you. That was a beautiful performance, certainly worth the wait. I think we can all agree on that. So I'd like to start off by acknowledging Bobby Lee. My Chief of Staff, Bobby Lee, is the first AAPI Chief of Staff in the history of the city, and he is simply an outstanding guy and does terrific work for me. And I want to thank Bobby Lee, our resident water tiger. Thank you, sir, for all of your service. Obviously, one proclamation can't capture all of the immense cultural, civic, and economic contributions that Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders have made not only to this community, but indeed to the state and to the entire nation. We have to temper this somewhat with an acknowledgement that in recent years we've seen an increase in hate crimes aimed towards our Asian American friends, and we have to remain strong supporters and allies to these communities. We must be ever vigilant and supportive, and it's my hope that we take the month of May to reflect on and commit to doing whatever we can to keep anti-Asian bias from being normalized, not here, not in our state, and not in our nation, nowhere. The communities we celebrate today are obviously by no means a monolith. They represent diverse cultures, traditions, religions, perspectives, and even cuisines. They're integral to the success of our region, and we must continue to prioritize their safety as well as their ongoing success. Portland will continue to work hard and be a place that values these diverse perspectives. And with this in mind, I have the honor now to read a proclamation on behalf of the entire Portland City Council and by extension the people of this great city. Whereas Portland is home to more than 56,000 members of the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander community who trace their roots to the Pacific Islands and Asia. And whereas Filipinos make up one of the largest ethnic groups in the United States, with over 23,000 people residing in the Portland metro region. And whereas the Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiian, Southeast, South, and East Asian American communities are proud of their diversity, and they draw strength from their rich cultures and traditions. And whereas Portland's Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders come from a complex of diverse languages, ethnicities, faiths, including Buddhism, Christianity, Catholicism, Confucianism, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Shintoism, and Sikhism. And whereas in 2021, reported hate crimes in the U.S. rose by more than 11%, with Asians, Pacific Islanders, and Sikhs experiencing some of the highest increases in targeted hate. And whereas City Council declared the city of Portland a welcoming city, a sanctuary city, and an inclusive city for all in a resolution adopted by Council on March 2nd, 2017. And whereas the Portland City Council believes that all immigrants and refugees are critical additions to the social and economic well-being of our community. And whereas in 2020, Portland City Council adopted anti-racism and equity as two of its core values. And whereas elected officials and community leaders from our region gathered on May 6th to support Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities in the Oregon Rises Above Hate Coalition celebration. And whereas May 18th is Asian American and Pacific Islander Day Against Bullying and Hate, where ACT to Change rallies communities against hate by uplifting Asian American and Pacific Islander youth voices and equipping our youth to become advocates against bullying. And whereas Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is an opportunity for all individuals and organizations to recognize their significant and important contributions, development, and defense for our country, as well as cultural, civic, and economic life for Portland for over 150 years. And whereas Portland, through dialogue with representatives from Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, continues to address the needs and concerns of its community members and remains committed to seeking resolutions to problems such as prejudice, discrimination, and violence. Now, therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim May 2023 to be Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in Portland and encourage all residents to observe this month. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Why don't we take a, Commissioner Ryan, why don't we go ahead and, why don't we take a 10-minute break? We'll take a 10-minute recess. We are in recess till 5 after the hour.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
All right, let's see where we are. Back to Commissioner Rubio. Item 362, this is an ordinance. And why don't I see anything?
Amend permit fee schedules for building, cannabis, electrical, enforcement, land use services, mechanical, noise, plumbing, signs, site development, and land use service fee schedule for the hearings office.
Commissioner Rubio.
Mayor, we are requesting that this office be pulled back to, or this item be pulled back to our office.
Without objection. Now we will go to 366 on the regular agenda. This is a report.
Accept bid of Kodiak Pacific Construction Company for the Road 10I and J North Fork BRMP 14.44 project for $2,614,048.
Colleagues, the Portland Water Bureau needs to grind existing pavement, restore road subgrade, and repave 2 miles of road number 10 within the Bull Run watershed. These repairs will allow Water Bureau staff to safely access the watershed for daily work as well as for emergencies. Chief Procurement Officer Biko Taylor is here. Good morning, Biko. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Mayor Wheeler. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I am Biko Taylor, Chief Procurement Officer. My pronouns are he, him. On December 14th, 2022, City Council approved Ordinance 191108 for this project. The engineer's estimate at that time was $1.82 million, and the confidence level was moderate. Procurement Services issued the invitation to bid on February 9th, 2023, and there was a due date of March 21st, 2023. In total, we received 4 bids on the project. Kodiak Pacific Construction Company was the apparent low bidder and is the recommended awardee. Their proposal came in at $2.61 million, which is 43.63% above the engineering estimate. The city's standard 20% aspirational goal applies to this solicitation, and here's a breakdown of the utilization. 69% of the project will be self-performed by Kodiak Construction. 20.5% will be performed by co-bid contractors, and right around 10% will be performed by 9 certified subcontractors. So in total on this project, just to drill a little bit deeper for council, we're looking at 20% minority participation on the project, right around a little over $500,000. So I want to commend Kodiak for putting together a strong subcontract management plan on a project that was clearly low bid. Kodiak Pacific is located in Sherwood, Oregon, and is a state co-bid certified contractor. They have a current City of Portland business tax registration and are in full compliance with all of the city's contracting requirements. If there are any questions about the procurement process, I'd like to answer those now. And we also have Joel Betancourt and Jody Inman from the Bureau online as well to answer questions. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions? Is there any public testimony on this item? I'll entertain a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Commissioner Maps moves. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Commissioner Ryan seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Ryan.
Thank you, Director Taylor. Always good to see you. Thanks for the thorough explanation of all the good work. I vote aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The report's accepted. 367, also a report.
Accept bid of Moore Excavation Incorporated for the Tryon Creek Fish Passage Improvements Project for $832,701.
This one's completely different. In order to comply with the Department of State Lands consent order, the Bureau of Environmental Services must provide fish passage on a reach of Tryon Creek by November 30th of 2023. This item authorizes the work necessary to comply with that order. Director Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On February 15th, 2023, City Council approved Ordinance 191173 to complete this project. The engineering estimate at that time was $1.247 million, and the confidence level on that estimate was high. Procurement Services issued the invitation to bid on March 9th, 2023, and there was a due date of April 11th, 2023. In total, we received 4 bids for the project. Moore Excavation was the low bidder and is my recommended awardee. Their proposal totaled $832,000, which is 33% below the original estimate. The city's standard 20% aspirational goals do apply to the solicitation. And here's a brief breakdown of the utilization. So 78% will be self-performed by Moore Excavation. They did meet the 20% co-bid goal. Of that 20%, 15% will be performed by minorities, a Hispanic landscaping company, Korea Landscaping. So commend Moore Excavation for putting together a strong subcontract management plan. Point of inquiry here, Moore Excavating did hire Iron Horse to be a subcontractor for a small portion of this project. They have a familial relationship with Moore Excavation. So I wanted to point that out on the record. Moore Excavation is located in Fairview, Oregon. It is not a state certified co-bid contractor. They have a current City of Portland business tax registration and are in full compliance with all of the city's contracting requirements. If there are any questions about the procurement process, I'll field those now. And also, my colleague from BES, Chris Lastomersky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is in attendance on the Zoom to answer questions. That concludes my report.
Very good, thank you. Colleagues, any questions for Director Taylor? Any public testimony?
No one signed up.
Well, actually, you know what, I have one odd question. What kind of fish are we talking about?
Fish?
What kind of fish?
I really couldn't, I don't
I
have
sort
the
of
answer
caught
to
you
that
off guard
question.
on that one.
You
We don't
got-
usually talk about that here.
You caught me off
So I'll
guard.
look it up later.
We might have someone on BES who can answer that. Allie, did I see you come off? Are you able to answer that?
Yes. Oh, Allie Young. Yeah.
Sorry, my name's Chris Lastomersky
Okay.
with BES. It is, they are anadromous fish, salmon and steelhead.
Oh, wow, great. Thank you. Makes
And
it
we have
even better.
resident cutthroat trout as well.
Terrific. Thank you for answering that question. It was a little out of left field. Keelan, I asked you if there was public testimony.
There's no testimony.
Commissioner Maps?
I was going to give you a motion.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
I move that we move this thing.
Thanks. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Maps moves, Commissioner Ryan seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none,
Thank you.
please call the roll.
Ryan,
This is pretty easy. I vote aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. Thanks, Director Taylor. Next item, 368. This is an ordinance, non-emergency ordinance.
Amend contract with Gresham Automotive Incorporated, DBA Gresham Ford, to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $10 million for purchase of fleet vehicles.
Colleagues, City Fleet is responsible for maintaining and replacing all city-owned vehicles to ensure the city work requiring transportation can be fulfilled efficiently. This item authorizes an increase to facilitate vehicle purchasing in order to better ensure timely replacement of city-owned vehicles. The amount requested is accounted for as part of the fleet's regular replacement fund activity. Fleet Business Operations Supervisor Alan Bates is here to present the ordinance. Welcome.
Good afternoon, almost afternoon, good morning still. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And we're here to talk about a contract amendment with Gresham Ford. And I'm just gonna give you a little bit of background. And I know there was some requests for some more information. Are you able to see my screen?
There it is. Yeah, now we do.
Okay, great. There was some requested information from some commissioners, so I just want to kind of give you a little bit of background on this. So obviously there's a lot of push, obviously, for our green fleet transition and for decarbonization. We are, City Fleet, working under the Climate Emergency Work Plan Action B2, which is to eliminate carbon emissions from city operations. So we, as as the fleet are part of that, and we're operating under that climate emergency work plan. We've done a lot of analysis on the fleet, how we can decarbonize, and we're planning to meet those goals of 100% net zero by 2050. We do not plan on purchasing any internal combustion engines after 2040, and that will get us to our goal. The main ways we're doing that, which I'll share in more detail in a second, is for light duty vehicles, we have an EV first policy. So we are intending to only purchase electric when it's a light duty applicable, technically and economically feasible sedan. For medium and heavy, we're still challenged. There are not a lot of solutions out there right now, but we are looking at sort of the most economical and feasible ways to purchase those heavier vehicles. So getting to the meat of why Gresham Ford. So we've been long-term partners with Gresham Ford. They are on the Oregon State Price Agreement, which means that they have signed up and been competitively bid to sell Ford vehicles. There's only one other dealer in the local area that can be on the state contract, but we chose Gresham for a lot of reasons, including that they're a certified minority and women-owned business. They were also nominated for the most ethical business award in Oregon. They're a long-term vendor, and they really understand our needs and requirements and goals. So that's why Gresham. And as we talked, we are looking for an additional 10 million, and the reason for that is that we are experiencing record inflation, as we all know. We've got a huge backlog of police vehicles, which were not purchased in 2020, 21, 22, and now we're finally coming back to be able to purchase those vehicles. In addition, the parks levy, we added 130 new vehicles through the parks levy, so that increased our need for additional purchasing. We had a lot of supply chain issues, again, unable to purchase a lot of those vehicles in 2020 through 22. Even today, we're still challenged with that. And we've got a big list of light duty replacements for 23 and 24. So this slide kind of summarizes where we're at in terms of light versus medium and heavy. Our current fuel focus right now is electricity for light duty vehicles. Our 5 to 10 year goal is to transition 750 of our vehicles to electric. We have 100 charging stations in operation today. We've got 75 more that are currently in construction in some phase, planning on 300 more. And we've been able to attract about $5 million in grants and incentives, and we're still looking to add additional funding to that. So far, we have about 166 vehicles that plug in and run on electricity, and the future of that will be electric. So we plan on using it for a long time. On the medium and heavy classes, we're actually looking pretty strongly at renewable natural gas. We have a goal of about 175 of our vehicles over the next 5 to 10 years. We hope to do many more, but we're waiting for the market to kind of catch up in technology. We're doing an RFP for renewable natural gas this summer, and that's going to be released in a public procurement. We have about 16 CNG or compressed natural gas vehicles today, most of those operating at the Bureau of Environmental Services out at the Columbia Wastewater Treatment Plant. We do believe the future will be electric and RNG and potentially green hydrogen. So we're looking at all of those technologies as ways to help us meet the net zero emission goal. Happy to take any questions.
Colleagues, any questions at this particular juncture? Commissioner Rubio?
Thank you, and thank you, Alan. We were one of the offices that was asking for that information. I guess what I want to understand is, so with what you're proposing today, how many vehicles, fleet vehicles, are you buying, and are they light duty or medium, or what's the composition? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so we buy about 300 to 400 new vehicles per year. And the breakdown it varies by year because we have different life cycles for different vehicles. So probably for this coming year, we're looking at probably half of them are going to be in the light duty class, and the rest will be in medium and heavy classes.
Okay. And are you working with BPS closely on this?
We are. Yeah. And we have very close working relationship. We've been working with BPS for the past, I think, at least 4 years since I've been here, and aligning sort of our strategies and goals with the net zero goals.
Okay, great. I thank you. I appreciate this information. I have more questions, but I'm happy to take it offline just to make sure that we're ensuring that those things are moving forward along with our plan. But thank you for the information.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you. Any further questions? I just want to acknowledge, I asked a lot of questions in advance of this hearing. I appreciate you answering them directly. My original concerns, of course, were focused on the fact that this is a potentially very lucrative contract, and I wanted to make sure that there was a clear and public vetting of why we are choosing this particular vendor over other vendors. I appreciate you going through the certification process as well as identifying some of the specifics around this particular vendor. I also just want to clarify that going forward, other vendors could qualify to compete for this contract, correct?
Yeah, so it's a competitively bid every year or every 2 years. It's a process, and so yeah, any dealership that's again within that OEM network can bid on the work. So very few dealerships want to participate because, frankly, the margins are so small for government fleet. And in fact, it's very structured. So the pricing that we get is the most favorable that we can get because it's competitively bid, but most dealerships don't want to even participate.
Good. And let me ask you a question. I think I know the answer to this, but I don't want to jump to it. Who is ultimately responsible for ensuring within this process, who is responsible for ensuring that the vehicle asks are absolutely necessary?
It's a combination of myself, our spec writers, and our fleet coordinators. There's an approval process that every vehicle goes through that basically goes from an operator to a coordinator to even a bureau director. So it's a pretty vetted process, and we scrutinize every vehicle that we purchase. We're in the process of right sizing the fleet, which means we're trying to get rid of sort of underutilized assets. But yeah, I mean, there is a very significant process that goes into every vehicle.
What happens to the vehicles when they are used up? For example, I'm pretty familiar with the situation in the police bureau. Some of those vehicles are absolute junkers by the point that they're turned in. But what happens to them? I assume they have some residual value, or they're of value to somebody maybe outside of government or the police bureau. What do we do with them?
We have a very structured process for that. So we work with an auction company. They pick up our vehicles. They, if we have to decommission them, like take off lights and other things like off of police vehicles, we do that. And then those vehicles go to auction, and then we do receive anywhere from 5 to 25% of the residual value of that vehicle from the original price. So it's a huge part of our replacement fund. So all the money that we collect from those auctions go back into the replacement fund.
Okay, is that a typical strategy with other jurisdictions as well? Is that fairly common?
It is, yeah. And the process, even for the auction, right, we went through a competitive bid for that, and we found that this local company that we work with was really just had the best pricing, the best service, the best everything. So we're currently under contract with them, I think, for another 3 years. So we're very fortunate to be working with them.
All right, very good. That's really helpful information, and I appreciate your being here today to share it. Anybody else have any questions before I go to public testimony? Do we have people signed up for public testimony on this item?
We do. We have one person signed up.
Very good.
Kimberly Goheen Alban
Welcome.
They were planning to join us in person.
Kimberly. I don't see Kimberly.
That's it then.
All right, very good. This is a first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. It moves to second reading. Thanks, everybody, for this.
Thank you.
$369, please. First reading of a non-emergency ordinance.
amend fee schedule for tree permits.
Commissioner Ryan.
Yeah, colleagues, I'm referring item 369, amend fees schedule for tree permits back to my office until a later date.
Without objection. Item 370, a second reading.
Vacate a portion of Northeast 42nd Avenue south of Northeast Halsey Street, subject to certain conditions and reservations.
This is a second reading. We've heard a presentation and had opportunity for public testimony. Any further business on this item? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Ryan.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The ordinance is adopted. Thanks for everybody on that. Item 371, this is an emergency ordinance.
Approve use of the multiple unit limited tax exemption program to extend the exemption period to housing developments who agree to maintain continued affordability restrictions.
This is Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you. Colleagues, I'm excited to be here today with the proposal to address an issue that we've been hearing about for many, many months, expiring affordable housing units built under the city's multi-program. The PHB team will walk us through everything in more detail in a moment, but first I'd like to provide a little refresher background on what this change is and why it matters. As many of you know, multi is a tool that we use to encourage mixed income apartment buildings, and we offer a property exemption for new private development that include a certain portion of units as affordable housing. When the city's multi-program was created many years ago, it was a voluntary program that offered 10 years of tax relief for 10 years of affordable housing. Dozens of buildings chose to participate, creating hundreds of units of affordable housing at 60% and 80% AMI. When we adopted inclusionary housing a few years ago, we changed the multi-program a bit and now require those units to be affordable for a very long time. However, we have a number of buildings that opted into older version of the program and will soon be reaching the end of their 10 years. When that happens, the public subsidy for those affordable units will end, and the renters of those units could face extreme rent increases because they are not protected under the state's cap on annual rent increases. So today we're proposing to offer owners a 5-year extension of the multi-program to keep up to 279 units of housing affordable at 60% AMI for a bit longer. And I'd like to thank Commissioner Ryan for his work on this issue last year as the Housing Commissioner. So Mayor, before we dive in, I'd also like to quickly propose a minor technical amendment to clarify how this will be administered by PHB. So I move to amend the ordinance as follows. Replace Directive D as follows. Applications must meet the additional multi-program requirements adopted by PHB.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Rubio, a second from Commissioner Ryan. Any discussion on the amendment? It's technical, so let's call the roll.
Ryan. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The motion's now amended.
Thank you, colleagues. So with that, I would like to introduce PHB's Interim Director, Molly Rogers.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. Good morning, Mayor Wheeler and Commissioners. My name is Molly Rogers. I'm the Interim Director of the Portland Housing Bureau. I'm joined today by Cassie Graves, who is here to answer any questions you may have. PHB is proposing to implement a short-term use of the multi-program to extend the tax exemption and affordability periods for 5 years for those projects with the most at-risk residents. We are proposing to make this extension available only to the projects approved prior to inclusionary housing, which has a 99-year affordability period, and were originally restricted at 60% of area median income and below. The rent increases will be most severe for the buildings with multi-units restricted at 60% of area median income. This is a voluntary extension, but it has the possibility of helping 279 households maintain affordable, stable rents. Over the next 10 years, 16 participating buildings have expiring tax exemptions restricted at 60% AMI, and the first one is set to expire in this July. State tenant protections don't apply to buildings that are 15 years or younger, meaning that those renters could face extreme rent increases when the building is just 10 years old and could raise rents up to the market. And so for some bedroom types, this differential can be sometimes up to $482 per month. If all 16 building owners opted in, the property tax impact would be $12.5 million over the next 14 to 15 years. And our city share, so we share that with other taxing jurisdictions, our share is $4.2 million in lost revenue, and that's about $300,000 per year. So the limited use of the multi-program, we're hoping for your approval by City Council today, but it also requires the approval of the County Commission for this extension. The Housing Bureau will review each request to extend the exemptions. And with that, open to any questions.
Just a quick one.
Commissioner Gonzalez, sure.
I'm going to support this. It makes sense. These rapid rent increases for those in units that have had subsidized housing can be catastrophic for households. But I am curious what analysis we're making in terms of the continued need to add market rate spaces into the jurisdiction. And when we look at this type of question, like holistically, like there's a perception that market rent is going up dramatically right now. I know that's true in the metro. Whether it's true inside the city core is a little bit of, I've seen debate back and forth on that question. But I guess that's a long way of asking, like, what do you project is the number of market rent units we can see coming on in 23, 24? And at what point does this type of investment to keep something out of the for market have some negative unintended consequences? And I know that's kind of an open-ended question, but just curious your thoughts on that a little bit.
That requires a number of analyses, really looking at our current permitting practices and how many projects are ready to be constructed right now. We track that with BDS, especially through our inclusionary housing program and development incentives in terms of how many are, Cassie works on each of these and all the amendments going through. We do see, do we know offhand how many projects are under review right now in permitting?
I'd have to pull up the data for that. I did not prepare inclusionary housing data, but we do have a pipeline of projects going through the building permit process. And sorry, for the record, I'm Cassie Graves, program coordinator for the development incentives team at PHB. Essentially all of these projects they're already constructed. They already have tenants in the units. These tenants have already been receiving this restricted rents. And so this extension is just an extension of already existing tax exemption. So it shouldn't have an impact on current market rate units coming through the pipeline.
But in terms of the work, obviously we want to incent as much as we can in terms of affordable housing within the existing pipeline. That's generally done through some either inclusionary housing or voluntary ways of doing some tax abatement in addition to. Generally, we're capped, though, about the amount of foregone revenue that the city is expecting. So we have to monitor in terms of how much we can extend our incentives against sort of that foregone revenue in addition to the county. So every time we make a change like this, we have to get the county on board, which also, because they're also affected by these changes, we want to maximize our incentives so we get as much affordable housing. We'd have to get back to you on the exact amount, what percentage of the total amount of projects going through the pipeline right now.
And I apologize for sort of the choppiness of my question. What I'm really trying to get at right now is when we look at our housing policy as a whole and the dollars that we're allocating towards encouraging low-income housing, for example, and the lack of market apartment buildings and units coming online at the same time, there's a fair amount of critique right now of things like inclusionary zoning. Is it a failure, right? Is it because, in the sense that while it supposedly is incentivizing the building of affordable housing, it's disincentivizing the building of market. And so we continue to compress supply at market, and that's going to drive up rent. So again, that's more the content. Again, I support this decision. I get it. It's just every incremental decision we're making. I just want us to think about what we're doing to address overall supply of market.
So are we. And we're working on findings for inclusionary housing and the impact of inclusionary housing in the context of other cost drivers of constructing housing in this marketplace right now. We will be circling back with City Council and doing briefings with all of you on those findings. I think you may be surprised by some of the preliminary work.
If I may reply, Commissioner, there's definitely a recognition by the Bureau and in our office about the need for a continuum, along the continuum, that we need housing along the continuum. So that's a given and that's a premise. And we are doing deep dives about the impact of the cost of, or how the program's working thus far in inclusionary housing. And so we have a lot of things teed up. They just haven't, we're waiting for data before we make any policy analysis or recommendations. But we heard you, and we'll definitely share the results of that when we have that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ryan.
Thanks, Mayor. Hello, Molly. Hello. 5 years, just tell me why that was the number that we landed on.
Yep, absolutely. It was a package a few years ago in the state legislature for rent stabilization that capped the amount of annual rent increases a landlord could pass on to the tenants. And it's 7% plus CPI. Right now, that rent stabilization package exempts certain buildings. It exempts buildings that were constructed in the last 15 years. So we discovered with the multi a little bit of a loophole, if you will. Those who are expiring at 10 years weren't protected for another 5 years. So this addresses that loophole.
Thank you so much. That was a great summary. I remember living this and being confused on this loophole and that space. So thanks. Good job.
That's a new one. Thank you. Do we have public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Ryan.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, for seeing this through. I really appreciate it. And Director Rogers, this program is so crucial. And the extension, I hope to see several property owners take advantage of this opportunity. And keeping 270 households, that's what I recall hearing from your presentation, stable is reason enough to support this 5-year extension. I vote aye.
Gonzalez.
Well said, Commissioner Ryan. I vote aye.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Interim Director Rogers and her team for both of your excellent work on this. It represents a tremendous amount of thoughtful research and outreach by you all. This tool will allow up to 279 low-income households and families to stay in their homes for at least 5 years or longer, which is very small cost to us at the city. So we're glad this proposal is moving forward, and we expect the county to act on their side of the proposal in June, and then we'll bring it back to council to approve our first application, hopefully, for this much-needed extension. I vote aye.
Great.
Wheeler.
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun on that. I was so eager to thank Commissioner Rubio and thank our Housing Bureau team here. Great work. I'm happy to support it. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. And that's everything, right, for the morning?
That's correct.
That was an interesting morning. We're adjourned.